All right, everyone, welcome back to the Cake Eaters Avalanche podcast. We're here on the day of the final preseason game. After tonight, it's going to be next time we see the Avs, it's going to be the regular season again, which is pretty cool.
Exciting
Pretty
times.
pretty cool. Yeah, this has been an interesting preseason. I feel like I don't know. It
Yeah.
feels like the starters and stuff have played less games than they normally do, and two of the games people couldn't even watch. They practically didn't even exist.
Right. And
Which
it's
is
also just like a lot of new players.
yeah,
So a lot of forwards, like a lot of, fourth line forwards trying to battle it out for that one spot. And it sounds like it actually might be two for a couple games because of
yeah,
Cogliano, but
yeah. Well, so that's what we're here to talk about for the first part of this. We just kind of want to talk about mainly those that like position battle that's kind of been going on. We talked about Ben Myers there for a while, but it looks like that's so far that spot might be leaning towards Frederick Olofsson's, which how didn't he I didn't even know he was a center. I didn't even know that was a thing he did before.
yeah. No, to me he's looked like the better of the two. Just in preseason. Um, he just the way he plays, it's just so Avs.
Yeah.
Um, and like even more so than Ben Myers. I just feel like Olofsson is a little heavier and just a little more polished. Just when I would watch him, um, and honestly, just a little more skilled. Like even watching Olofsson in the playoffs last year at Dallas, I'm going, this guy is just everywhere. And
Yeah,
now,
he's a fast dude.
yeah, and like he has good hands. He doesn't have the best shot, but you know, he's your 4C. So
Yeah, probably.
I feel like whenever I
Um
was watching him with Dallas last year in the playoffs, it was like, man, this guy's just everywhere and he's creating chances.
I
So
tried to avoid watching Dallas in the playoffs last year as much as I could. So,
yeah.
yeah. Um yeah, no, I haven't been able to watch as many of the preseason games. Been a little bit busy, but from what I've seen, I've liked what him and Tufty have been doing. Um that little Dallas Stars line has been pretty good. Um, Today it was announced that Kiviranta was released from his PTO, but they invited him to join the Eagles. So we'll
Hmm.
see how that goes. Um,
Yeah.
he wasn't bad. He wasn't quite as lost as I expected he was going to be, but he wasn't like definitely compared to his two line mates. He wasn't as big of a standout.
Right. But I feel like he'd be totally fine if he had to play games. Like
Right.
he's an NHL player and it seems like he'd just fit with the Avs, just the way he plays.
Yeah.
And
No.
he's just more of a speedy, hard nosed guy
Yeah.
than
All
like
these guys fit in really well. It's kind of funny because even Peter Holland wasn't like didn't look like he was you know he looked better than Artem Anisimov did a few years ago.
oh yeah. I mean Peter Holland looked better than I think any of us thought he would.
Yeah,
But even then it was like, okay,
not great. Yeah, no,
I'd
he wasn't
prefer all of these other ones.
pushing for a spot. I know they said they invited him to the Eagles camp. I don't remember if he
He went,
accepted it.
yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well that's good for him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there were some good players. So like what we can talk about those three. I mean, a little bit more, but outside of them, outside of like those guys, who are your like big standouts from preseason so
Well,
far?
so I've watched as many games as I have been able to so far in preseason. So the two road games obviously have not been televised. So,
Yeah,
but I've gone to all three of the home games. So
mm,
that's been fun. Um, as far as like guys who did not make the team, um, I thought Ivan was really good. Um, and I thought Jeremy Hanzel was really good in that one game we saw him.
Yeah.
And I know he played 2 games total.
Yeah,
I
he
think he
played the one
played,
in Minnesota.
yeah. So maybe that one didn't go as well for him, but man, he looked really good in that. Um, I forget which I forget which one it was. I think it was the second preseason game.
It was
Yeah,
it was yeah,
it
it
was the
was
second one against Vegas.
yeah, right, Vegas.
And he looked really good. And I was like, man, if they send this guy back to juniors, I think that's a mistake because he already looks like he's better than the rest of these AHL players.
Yeah,
And
I'll have to keep an eye on him in juniors.
yeah,
But 'cause
I mean,
I agree, but I just don't know where he would have fit, you know?
yeah, but I feel like and again, I say this without knowing how he played in Minnesota, right? But when you play that well, I feel like you just make a spot for him with the
Yeah.
Eagles, you know? But I guess they didn't feel that way. So, and I don't know, he just looked he's a little skinny still. Like he definitely has to,
Fill
grow into
out.
his body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and obviously he's 20, so like
Yeah.
that's most 20-year-olds. But yeah, I mean, he has a really, really good first pass. Like that breakout pass was always to the correct guy and always gave the guy space to work with. Um, there was this one shift at the end of the game where he was going. He made the outlet pass. They got into the zone, and he just went straight to the front of the net, like without any care in the world. It's like, and then he like tipped the shot, I think, and it went high, and then he was just like the first one back. He just skated back. It's like, wow, like honestly, like looked like AHL version of Devon Taves. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. No,
hard.
his passing was really good. That was something that I know
Mhm,
was like a big strength of his going into the draft. So I think it was really encouraging to see both him and Jadlika. You know, when you take these overage guys, you want them to,
mhm.
you're not
You want
gonna,
them to pop right away.
yeah, you can't sit and wait on them.
Yeah.
And I mean, they did pretty good. Um, uh, any other guys that like stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Jedlika, between Hanzel, Ivan, and Jedlika, I think Jedlika stood out the least for me. I thought he was still pretty raw. Um,
Yeah, you didn't get a lot.
Ivan, I was watching and I'm like, man, this guy, if this guy was like your 4C in a pinch already, like it might be fine. Like he's so fast
Yeah,
and like
if they weren't close to the contract limit, they should probably get that guy in
exactly.
ELC.
Yeah. But no, he's down with the Eagles. So
Yeah, at least I
Eagles
mean,
camp.
yeah, at least he's still with the organization. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so those guys, I agree. Jadlika didn't like was mostly like the stuff he did good was off the puck. He didn't really get. I just
Mhm.
didn't like see much of him on the puck. He was like I don't know. It was just not a lot of like
Yeah,
flashes there, but he still did pretty
exactly.
good. Schooneman and Sean were guys that I thought
I
did all right.
I don't think Schooneman is very good. Um,
I
not for
noticed
me.
him his speed a lot popped out to me. He's a really good skater, but yeah, no, he
Ooh,
definitely made some. I might be thinking of a different guy.
Ashan is a really good skater.
I think it might be a Sean. I don't know. They kind of blended together in my head.
Schooneman was I don't know. Schooneman just looked like Schooneman and Amott were pretty similar.
Really,
Just
I
just like
liked
big guys, not the best skaters.
Amat was a little bit better with the puck though,
Definitely.
and he was a lot more
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, that's something Schooneman didn't do very much as well. Just wasn't physical. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind shooting in the AHL as just another guy down there, but I don't know. A lot of people are praising him for his camp, and I was just like, I don't know,
Mhm.
I don't, you know.
Yeah, no, I
But then
get you.
again, I just there's a certain kind of player that I like my eyes gravitate towards, you know. So, um, like Ashan, Ashan is one of the ones where um, one of the ones closer to the NHL. So I've got two guys closer to the NHL who I really liked, and that was Ashan and Tufty.
Yeah.
Um, I did get the full Tufty experience where I saw a game at center, and it wasn't. I was like, "Ooh, this is very
Yeah.
good." And
Yeah, I don't
then
know why they were really trying to force that.
right, and then I saw a game on the wing, and it was really good. So
Yeah.
saw
He's pretty quick for
two,
his size. He's
yeah,
a good
one game
skater.
on the wing. Yeah, he's really fast. Um, and I think something he didn't do much with Dallas was use that gigantic frame to his
Yeah.
advantage, and you saw when he was doing that in the preseason, he was pretty darn effective. And he's got enough skill where you're like, wow, okay, the Avs might have a little something here.
Yeah, he with that big reach and the big frame, he's a really good forechecker.
Yeah, exactly.
So I noticed that a lot. Um, any any other guys? What about Olausson? Because I know like this is definitely the best showing we've seen of him for the Avs so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get to Olausson, I want to touch on Ashawn. I
Okay.
think I liked Ashawn better than honestly Malinsky from what I've seen. I think Malinsky just doesn't look comfortable
Yeah.
when I watch
I was
him.
I was a little bit disappointed with Malinsky.
And Ashawn looks like very comfortable, like just using his
Right.
skating and everywhere. Like he never looks uncomfortable because he's always just using his skating, which is really good.
One thing I
Um,
will say is that he's played 2 pro years already, or
right?
three actually, 3 pro years. Sean has, and
Yeah,
this is
yeah. I mean, he looked really good, and he's a really good puck mover. Obviously, just a tiny guy, so
yeah,
you know,
he's definitely a little guy.
Walmart Sam Gerard. But no, he was a really good puck mover, though. Because if you're a tiny guy and you're a good skater, like you're not going to hit anyone. You gotta be able to move a puck, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it appeared that he could. So I was really impressed. Um, his offensive zone vision isn't the best, so I can definitely see why he's not an NHL player yet. Like Sam Gerard, you see him in the offensive zone, and
Right.
while it's not like anything super elite or anything, like he's finding guys, right?
Yeah, he makes good first passes.
Exactly. So I feel like that's the difference there. You can just see between an NHL player and a fringe guy. So
Yeah, exactly. Um. All right. So Olausson, what did you?
yeah, I had to give Ashawn his props. Olausson,
Yeah, no, I like
um,
Deshaun.
it was a lot less floaty than it was in previous preseasons. Like even off puck, he was working to get into position. Whether if it was in the offensive zone, it was working to get open. Um, on the forecheck, it wasn't soft. He was actually using his body, bumping into guys. You
Hmm.
know, and then even in the D zone, like he was still, he was working hard mentally to be in the right spot. Like some guys, you see McKinnon do it all the time. They just check out mentally. They're like, okay, I'm just gonna be here, and if something bad happens, well, whatever. You know, we see McKinnon do that sometimes. Um, just as an example, and Olausson, I like all the time in previous preseasons, just floating around down there. But you saw him, just watching him, and like, okay, he's got his head on a swivel. He's He's in the right spot. He's covering his point, but he's also not going too high. He's still got his responsibility low just in case something bad happens.
Hmm.
And he's really trying to be in the right spot. And as soon as they would get the puck, he was go go go. Like he loves to get up the ice. So
Yeah.
I think, oh man, I just think he has so much skill that um,
Yeah. I
it was
think
so it was so exciting to see him play like that. So
who did he it was the one game that I was really impressed was it the first one? I don't remember. Or maybe it was the Vegas one. No, it was the Vegas one. He was playing with Myers and O'Connor. And I think
mhm,
kind of that type of energy kind of helped him like, you know,
mhm,
helped him get rid of that floatiness. He kind of just like
right,
saw what they were doing and just kind of, you know, did
exactly.
the
It
same
wasn't like
thing.
he waited for them to retrieve pucks for him.
Yeah.
He joined in on the action too.
Yeah.
And I actually like that Dallas game more than any of them. Um, the one in Denver, obviously. I mean,
Right.
he was just everywhere,
And that
and
shot he had to finish it off was
yeah,
I could definitely like see him like as a lower end Burakovsky kind of,
dude, I don't even know about that. I feel like 60 points. Just watching him play, like he has the skill to be that guy.
right.
He just has to play. He just has to play hard. Like he
Yeah,
has to.
if he
Yeah.
plays really well in Loveland this year and gets a call up. The
Yeah.
only issue is that like with a call up, they're always weird about call ups because typically it depends on where the hole is, If it's a
Right.
bunch of fourth line guys getting hurt, he's probably not going to get one. They're going to, go to a Tufty or a McDermott or a
Hmm.
Myers or whoever's not
Yeah.
in.
I wonder what it would look like if he played with like Ross Colton or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's the third line has a little bit more of an offensive touch this year. I think he could probably
Hmm.
slot in there,
That's what I'm
especially.
thinking. Like say I don't want to speak it into existence because this is bad, but say like you know Nico Rantanen gets hurt for 10 games or something, which would be terrible. Not not saying this is going to happen, but what can you do? You can do Lehkonen, McKinnon, Drouin, and then you can do Tatar, Johansson, Nichushkin, and then you could just put Olausson next to Colton and Wood, and you're like, seems good.
Yeah,
Like we've got skill right there again. Um, so yeah, but I would honestly I would do Tufty first,
yeah,
but after that, man, like obviously Myers and Olafson um, probably get call ups before, depending on who makes the team, who doesn't.
right.
Probably get call ups before Olausen, but I would just honestly like he played so well that if he's like the 15th or 16th forward,
Yeah.
that'd be sweet. Obviously, McDermott's still there too, which is sad, but
Well, I thought he actually McDermott looked pretty. He looked solid at forward. I mean, I don't know. It's something that I've always thought he's been a fine forward. He hits everything when he's a forward. Because like as a defenseman, I don't think he's able to be as physical just because he's not a strong skater forward or backwards, but
mhm,
he's definitely not a strong skater backwards. So when he's skating backwards, he just can't really do a lot. But going forward, like he goes in behind the net, he's gonna hit the guy. Like I definitely
yeah,
think there's like something to him being like a solid forward, and I think that it'll be interesting to see him in actual NHL games. But
yeah. I mean, my only issue with him as a forward is he just takes so many penalties, like,
yeah,
and that's really, I mean, obviously the hockey is what it is, but if he could just not take penalties, like
mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it, honestly, at forward. It's just when he does stupid shit
Yeah, you can't take
that's totally
penalties.
not needed, like that kneeing penalty in I think it was the first preseason game, like it's just so stupid.
Took a
at the
knee.
second
What?
preseason game. Yeah, at the end of the game, it was right after he scored that goal right in front of the net. He just knees a guy like blatantly. And you're like,
I must not have caught that one. I didn't even hear
you're
anyone
like,
say anything
dude.
about it. I felt like,
And you're
but
like, come on, man. Like, that's so stupid. It's preseason. And like, yeah, you just scored, but you just lost your man on the back check. And now you're kneeing a guy
yeah,
30 seconds after you scored. Like, it's the full Curtis McDermott experience that's frustrating. But
yeah.
honestly, yeah, as a forward,
All right, and then so the last thing about preseason. What about the new guys? What do you like from the new guys? We didn't see a whole lot. I mean, really, like,
hmm so
um,
obviously, I got one game of Colton Tatar Wood.
yeah,
Miles Wood, I might have to take everything back that I've said
dude, a dude was
because he gets
an
out there on his first
experience.
shift. He gets out there on his first shift and he's just running into stuff and creating scoring chances left and right. Not finishing any of them, but that's fine.
He's just
He
like
he
bigger
tried
Logan
he went
O'Connor.
yeah, that's what it was. And way more skilled, but like he just every time he had it, he would just try to go for the stuff. He would try to stuff it in. It's
Yeah,
like you're allowed to shoot too.
brute power. Just
Yeah, he's just trying to stuff it in. It's like, so there's actually pads there.
yeah, he tried that. He tried that short side shot about 10 times.
Like low too, low short side,
Yeah.
just stuffing it in, and it was just not working. But at least he was getting there because no one else was getting there. So he was insanely good, just like flying around. And Ross Colton, I think, is really good. I think he was still trying his Avalanche. I think he was still trying trying out the system, stuff like that. It just didn't
Mhm.
look totally comfortable. Um, you could tell you can tell how defensive Tampa wanted him to play, and like he was super responsible at that end.
Yeah, he wasn't quite as aggressive on offense.
Right.
He wasn't like unleashing as
But I
much.
feel like it'll get there.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
don't know, did he play yesterday? He did, right? Or not
I
yesterday
I
against
don't
Dallas.
remember.
Because I know Johansson did. Um a lot of dudes played yesterday. Like a decent handful of guys, like a lot of the middle six guys played yesterday.
Mhm. No, I
But we
think
didn't
Colton did
not
play
yesterday, the other
against. I
day.
think
Goddamn.
Colton. I think Colton did play against Dallas the first time. He just wasn't. I forget, but either way, I think he'll be fine. Tatar, I think he'll be fine too. Obviously, he had that immigration stuff, but I
Yeah.
think he'll. I think he'll be fine. I think he's just gonna put up 50 points.
Right. Yeah, no, those guys are interesting. Wood was, I don't know, if Wood does that and like limits the penalties, he's
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
it's just gonna it's just gonna be happy to watch. He's gonna like give you like
Mhm.
the same kind of vibes as Dennis Mulligan, but kind of the opposite.
Even just keep it at 20 minor penalties this year. That's 40
Well,
pims.
one
Just
thing I
keep it
will
right there.
I'll give him,
I'm fine with it.
I our friends at DNVR had him on the podcast, and he pointed out that 37 of his 76 penalty minutes last year were from like a weird like he got like seven like in 2 games he got a 10-5-2 kind of combined penalty.
Mhm.
So maybe he is working on the discipline a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I hope
mean,
so.
he plays such a loud game that he's probably going to get called a little more than most guys. He's
Yeah,
just so
like I mean,
noticeable.
as long as they're not stupid. I mean, like as
I
long
mean, there's going to be some of that.
right, but like as long as the majority of them aren't stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were good. And then Duran, I thought was another good one. I thought Johansson looked good, but we only saw him in the one game. So
Yeah, I think he's going to be so good. He's the one where everyone's on Druin, right? And I think Druin's going to be amazing.
yeah, it's Colton and
But
Duran are.
but Johansson, dude, I think he's going to be everything they need from
Especially
their
since
2C.
they
It's a
mixed
kid.
they mixed up the top six, and they're doing kind
Yeah.
of what literally everybody was thinking they should do.
No, I
Putting
just think
Nico
he's
Nuke.
just so crafty and
Yeah.
And he's so smart. Like, I don't think I've ever given him credit for it. Just watching him, I was like, yeah, he's gonna be good. And I can see what they mean when they say he plays a little quiet sometimes. He's not always all over the puck just because he's not the fastest.
He's definitely a more calculated player. Like,
Oh yeah, but it's gonna be good from him. I think he's gonna be so good. So that's my one where I'm kind of, most people aren't really on him as much, but I am. I think he's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. All right. So you requested did you anyone
Yeah.
else want to talk about, or you want to do your game?
No, it's time to play games.
It's time to play games. So I did this one.
Open the season with a little game.
I did this one a little bit different than the ones before. Now I didn't do as much of. I don't think I did. I didn't use natural stat trick at all. These are more like.
I don't know who wore number 20 for the Avalanche ever.
Yeah, you do. Trust me. I know you can get at least 4 of these.
At least 4?
At least 4.
Oh,
the other
know.
ones are
okay. Brandon Saad.
Brandon Saad is one. Here, really quick, let me read the question out for the audio people. Okay, so before Ross Colton, 15 players have worn the number 20 for the Colorado Avalanche. Name 7. Okay, so Ross Colton doesn't count, by the way, obviously, because I said before. This, by the way, these are the easiest. This is the easiest one. I looked at all the other numbers. The new numbers, 27, 28, 12, complete randos. So I think you have the best chance.
I don't know people who wore 20. Okay, so I got Saad.
Yeah, I've Saad. That's one.
I honestly don't know. Like, I'm trying to think back to when I was a kid, when I was a young lad.
Okay, so there's been one each of the last 4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Saad. And then last year, I'm trying to think. Who wore 20 last year?
You know this.
Yeah, I do. It's just not hitting me. Who wore 20? Okay, tell me who wore 20 last year.
Lars Eller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Year before that was Saad. Year before that was Saad. Because Saad
only
played.
Here for 1 year.
No, yeah, he was only here for the COVID year. Okay, so 21-22, who wore 20?
I think they only played 1 game, but you should know who they are.
Did Olausson wear 20 that year?
No.
Okay, because he's changed around quite a bit. He's 24 now. He was 27. Only 1 game. Forward or defenseman?
Defenseman. I think he only played 1 game. Yeah, no, he only played 1 game. It was against the Rangers.
Against the Rangers. Huh. I don't know. I'm so bad with numbers.
He was a prospect.
I really don't know. Maybe, Justin Barron?
There you go.
I thought that was against Nashville. That COVID game. Okay, so that's 3 players who've worn 20.
Yes, that is 3.
Now I'll think back to when I was a young lad. So I know Paul Stastny wore a different number at the start of his career. It wasn't always 26.
That is true.
But was it 20?
No.
Okay. I don't know, 20. 16, 17. Did anybody wear 20 that year? Did Joe Colborne wear 20?
No.
Okay. I'm just naming names.
Someone did wear 20 and 16, 17.
Do we really have to think about that?
Unfortunately, you also missed the one from 1920. You didn't give me that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone wore 20 that year?
Yes.
Again, terrible with numbers.
Yeah, apparently,
yeah, I'm so bad with numbers. Maybe it would be better with a different number, but I don't
maybe.
know.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought there was going to be a lot more history with this number. I don't know if you wanna give up. I can show you. Who wears them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give up. Yeah, I just don't know anyone.
So these ones you're not going to get. Rene Corbet, 95 to 99.
Mhm.
Kelly Fairchild, 02. Brian Marchman, 03. Cody
Okay, yeah.
McCormick, 04. Vitaly
Okay.
Kolesnik. And then we got Mark Rycroft, Tom Praising,
I should have got Connor Timmons.
Greg Malden. Well, he only wore that for like 2 games that year, and then he had to switch to 22 in the 2021 year because Saad took 20.
Right.
So it was a little.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, then we got
He's
Reto
never
Berra.
getting Ben Smith.
I thought you'd get Reto Berra. He was here for a while.
I did not like Reto Berra personally, so that's probably why.
I just thought maybe
and
it'd
then
stand
Greg
out.
Malden. I remember Greg Malden.
Greg Malden.
Wasn't too bad.
Ben Smith, Connor Timmons, Brandon Saad, Justin Barron, and Lars Eller. So
yeah. So I wasn't getting anybody past Greg Malden, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't think of Mark Rycroft as a number 20. I thought he were like 28 or something. Yeah. All right. So next question. How many wins does Alexander Georgiev need to enter the top 10 in wins all time for the Avalanche goaltender?
Okay, well, so it can't be a ton just because of how thin the Avs have been at goalie in their history. I think he's got, like 30-some wins? So I would say maybe like 20.
Maybe 20?
Yeah.
All right. It's actually 12. Because he got to 40 last year. And Craig Anderson is 10th at 51. I didn't know Craig Anderson only played 2 years here.
Yeah. What a 2 years it was.
I know, right?
He was so good. Especially the 2009, 2010. They're so good.
Well, and the playoffs that one year.
Yeah. That was the playoffs year.
Right. That was, whatever. All right. So how many former first round picks are on the Avalanche?
Ooh. Okay. So no EJ.
No EJ.
I'll start at the top of the defense. So Makar, obviously. Jack Johnson, be 2. Bowen Byram is 3.
I think
you'll Josh Manson a first round pick? I don't think so.
He's a 6th rounder, actually.
Yeah. So I think the defense is done because it would have been Eric Johnson. And I know Gerard was a 2nd round pick. Or was Gerard a first? No. We're going to say no. So I'll start with 3. Start with those 3. Okay, forwards, McKinnon, Rantanen, Drouin. So that entire line. Johansson. Nichushkin. Not Lehkonen. I don't know about Tatar. I know Colton was not. I don't think Miles Wood was. I think I'm there.
Well, you're missing one that's really obvious.
Am I?
He's still on the roster.
Olausson?
No. The guy who's the captain of the team.
Yeah.
It's not.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, you're missing 2. Now these two are sneaky. Now, one of the dudes is technically on the roster. He's playing in the game tonight, but he might not be on the regular roster.
Was Tufty?
Yes, Tufty was a first rounder.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one,
Olausson. Was Gerard?
no.
No.
It was actually Andrew Cogliano.
Oh wow, yeah.
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 So
JJ
yeah.
and Cogs.
Yep, same year. And then way back in 2005, then Ryan Johansson in 2010, Landeskog in 2011, McKinnon, Duran, and Nichushkin in 2013. Ranson in 2015, Tufty in 2016, Makar in 2017, Byram in 2019. So, wonder what this. I wonder what that would look like in the Cup year, because I know obviously, I don't remember if Kadri. I think Kadri was a first rounder, right? He had to have been.
Mm-hmm. He was.
Yeah. So it's Kadri and Burakovsky are first rounders.
The Johnsons.
Right, and then you have EJ on there. I don't know about some of the other guys. I think that
No, I don't think Berkey was.
Berkey was a first rounder.
Was he?
Yeah, he was also in the 2013 draft.
So he was a second rounder.
Is he? I thought he was a first rounder. Let me see. Maybe he was a second rounder, and I'm just thinking the 20. When were you drafted, Andre? No, yeah, he was drafted at the 23rd overall pick. But yeah, what would have been most interesting was how many guys that were drafted in 2013. Because Manson was also picked in 2013.
So was Lehkonen.
Right, Lehkonen. And then obviously Burakovsky was back then. I know that he was on the Cup team, but way back when Zadorov was drafted in 2013. I think was Comfer in 2013. Was he 2014?
I thought Comfer was Miko's year. No, the year before Miko. I think it was 14.
Okay. Maybe. All right. Next question. The Avalanche currently have 5 players who were born in Minnesota. Can you name all 5? This one's tough.
It would have been Eric Johnson, but no.
Eric Johnson. A lot of questions Eric Johnson can relate to.
Mm-hmm. Born in Minnesota. Was Ryan Johansson born in Minnesota?
No, he was born in British Columbia.
Oh yeah, that's right. Colton?
No. Here, I'll give you a hint. This extends to like Eagles guys as well. So like the Avs organization.
Oh, then I'm not gonna get any.
You know the guys. You know them. But whether or not they know from Minnesota is maybe a different thing.
Okay. Was Tufty?
We've talked about all of them. Yes, Tufty is one.
Okay. I should earn a medal just for getting that. Is there anyone on like the active Avs?
Yes, one other guy.
One other guy
who's still up with the Avs. Yeah.
Ben Myers?
Yes, that's 2.
Is he the one who's up with the Avs?
Yeah.
Okay. So now all the rest are on the Eagles.
Yes. But
was Kyle Mayhew?
Kyle Mayhew was not. We've talked about all 3 of these guys today.
Jack Ashawn.
Jack Ashawn is one.
Wow. Let me think. Are they forwards or defensemen or both?
The next 2 are defensemen.
Oh, wow. Okay. Malinsky?
Mm-hmm.
Hanzel?
No. One more guy.
It's probably really obvious.
Think about where they went to school, where they went to college.
Yeah. I don't know. He played for the Avs in preseason. Corey Schooneman?
Nope.
But he played for the Avs in the preseason on defense, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And is a prospect or like an AHL journeyman?
He's a prospect.
Okay. So I take it not a very good one.
Yeah, he's not like. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is It's probably just super easy, and I just can't get it. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so the fifth one was Wyatt Amott.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was the captain for Minnesota State.
right.
So yeah, it's Ben Myers, Riley Tufte, Wyatt Ament. Oh God, whatever. Jack Ashawn and Sam Malinsky. Malinsky was the toughest one. I mean, probably actually it was probably Ashawn because he's new, but like they all. Well, I mean, Tufte played high school hockey. He was drafted out of high school,
Right.
And then, but they all played for the school. They all came to the NHL from a Minnesota school, except obviously Malinsky came from Cornell. So, all right, who are the top 5 in all-time regular season hat tricks for the Avalanche?
Would Joe Sakic be?
Joe Sakic is 1. He's number 1.
Mikko
is number 3.
Nate doesn't get a lot of them, but I'll just say Nate.
No.
Hayduk
is tied for 5th.
Okay, so there's 6 really.
No, there's 5, but I guess he's tied for 4th, I guess.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's 2 tied for 4th. Okay.
Yeah.
Forsberg didn't score a lot of goals, so I don't think it was Forsberg. Landeskog
is also tied for 4th.
So I'm missing the 2 spot?
Yeah, the second person.
Is it Forsberg?
It is Forsberg.
Yep. Wow.
Yep. Sakic has 15. Forsberg has 7. Ranson has 6. Landeskog has 5, and Hayduk also has 5. It's kind of nuts that Mikko already has 6.
It's a lot of hat tricks.
He might get pretty close to Sakic.
Because he's good for a couple this year.
Yeah. It was funny looking through the list, like remembering who scored hat tricks. Yui Krupp has scored a hat trick for the Avs.
No shot.
Yep.
Man, yeah. 95, 96 must have been a year.
Yeah. Well, and then there were some other ones like like ones that I just like you kind of forget about. Like Carl Soderberg scored a hat trick.
Chris Stewart had 2.
Stewart, yeah, he had 2.
I know the exact day Chris Stewart scored a hat trick.
Really?
Yeah. I believe it's either March 6th or March 8th, 2010 against the Blues.
Here.
I want to say March 6th.
It was really quick. For the Avs, and then it was the next one was Scott Young with 4 after Hayduk. And then it's McKinnon, Lemieux with 3. Then Donskoy, Stewart, Svatos, Reinprecht, and Tanguay all have 2. And then you get into the ones: Burakovsky, Colborne, Nieto, Comfort, Jost, Soderberg, Thomas Fleischmann, Matt Duchene, Paul Stastny, Andrew Burnett, Radim Verbata, Theo Fleury.
I remember Duchene's too. Is in Dallas.
Sean Podine. Yeah, they scored a lot against Dallas. I know Nieto's was against Dallas too. Eric Lacroix had a hat trick for the Avs.
Cool.
Sandis Ozolinsh, Adam Deadmarsh, Uwe Krupp, Andrei Kovalenko, Mike Ritchie, although that might have been whatever a Walt Podumny is.
Whatever that is, yeah, had a hat trick.
Yeah. Then Jeff Jackson, Lane Lambert.
Lane Lambert?
Yeah.
Lane Lambert was the coach of the is the coach of the Isles.
Yeah.
No.
He scored a hat trick for the Avs.
Wow.
Or maybe it could have been the Nordiques. That was
It had to have been the Nordiques.
It was the Nordiques, yeah.
It's like that guy's old.
He's old, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he's old. He's the coach of the Islanders.
Yeah.
All right, so let me see. When was Chris Stewart's hat trick?
Was it March 6th or March 8th, 2010?
March 6th.
I think it was March 6th because they won 7-3. I know that.
It was March 6th. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Chris Stewart had a hat trick. And I know
it's so funny, but it's so fitting. Matt Duchene, his hat trick came in the loss. They lost 6-7,
right? Oh, 7-6. That's right. That was the 7-6 in overtime game to Dallas.
It was crazy.
Oh,
there's not a lot.
Varley got lit up that game.
There's not a lot where they've scored a hat trick and lost. Like that's like the only one that I can find on here outside of McKinnon against St. Louis in Game 5.
So funny, and I remember these games. Just these random games from when I was a kid, and I just remember them so vividly. And I remember Chris Stewart's second hat trick was in Calgary in 2011. Maybe like November of 2011.
It was late October of 2010. Okay. He actually scored technically back-to-back. So he was the 146th hat trick and the 147th hat trick in franchise history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really cool for a year. And so is like TJ Gagliardi for a year was also pretty cool.
TJ Gagliardi. P.A. Parento was pretty good. I'm actually but he wasn't like a goal scorer, really.
Yeah, he was more of a passer.
Yeah. But anyways, this is funny. So Matt Duchene's hat trick in 2011. In November of 2011, the Avs didn't score another hat trick until February of 2015.
Which way? Oh, yeah, against the Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, they were not very good there for a few years.
How many of these are against Dallas? Not that many, but 4 of them are against Dallas. Yeah. Paul Stastny scored a hat trick. Matt Duchene's, Joe Colborne, and Matt Nieto. Dallas Stars just get hat tricks put on them by the most random Avs players.
So random.
All right. Next question. Where does Nathan McKinnon rank in all-time Avalanche scoring?
Okay, I want to say he passed Forsberg.
Did he? I don't know. I don't
like
think
recently. No. Okay, so he's got. I don't know. Is he like?
He did pass Forsberg.
Yeah. So. Second? No, it can't be second. Third. I'll say third.
Third.
Or is it fourth?
Okay. Well, I messed this up. You're technically right.
Goals?
It is third. It's
is
third.
It goals?
No, but I accidentally did all the franchise, so he's still behind Peter Stastny and Michel Goulet. But in the franchise, he's only behind Sakic and Hayduk.
Right.
He's 46 points behind Hayduk right now.
So
he'll probably be there soon.
Yeah.
Then he's got a ways to go for Joe Sakic.
Yeah.
He might pass Joe Sakic in an Avs uniform. Like, if you just put the points that Joe Sakic has scored for the Avs, he might.
Right.
But
not. Yeah.
1,600 points is a lot.
So many. Holy.
He's not even halfway there yet.
No, he's not. Wow.
Yeah. All right. This one's tough. 5 Slovakians have played for the Avalanche. Who are they?
Is Frankie?
Frankie's Czech.
Czech. Oh, yeah.
By the way,
Slovakian.
New guy counts.
I don't know. I don't know. So Jedlika counts?
Oh, technically he is. Well, no. I was thinking of like a guy who's actually going to be on the roster this year.
Tatar?
Yep. He's
Okay. Was Yui Krupp?
he's German.
Yeah, that is a German
You
name.
should know 3 of them.
Really?
You should know 2 of them. One of them you might know. It was pretty recent, but you might not know him.
I don't know any. This is another thing I'm terrible
One of
with.
them was he was a pretty big goalie name for the Avs.
Pretty big goalie name.
Yeah, let me see where is he all time. He's 4th all time in Avs wins.
What? Slovak. Is he newer or older?
He's older. He's with the organization still.
Craig Billing? No.
Craig Billington.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it. No, yeah. That was a bad one. Peter Budaj.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, he was so bad. I remember when I was a kid and I would turn on the TV and Peter Budaj was in it, I would just get all sad.
His record isn't that bad. 101 wins, 91 losses. It's not awful.
Yeah, he was better earlier on in his Avs career.
I remember that like one of the only times they played him recently was that game against Tampa Bay where they they lost like 6-5 or something.
They just smoked Peter Budaj.
Yeah. Gabe Landeskog and Nathan McKinnon just abused him.
Trying to think of older guys who could have been. See, my worst era of Avalanche is anything like 2002 to like 2008.
Yeah. So I'll give you the one guy that I was the recent guy. He played 8 games for the Avs in 2018-19.
Okay. And then he was just gone.
Yeah. He was with the Eagles a little bit.
Forward or Andrei Mironov? No, he was Russian.
Yeah, he's a forward.
And a defenseman. Okay. A forward. 8 games in 18-19. So was Aaron Palushai?
No.
I know that was before 18-19. What about Borna Rendulic?
No.
Okay.
I don't know who these guys are.
Okay. That was like, 2012 in that area. Tough times. 2018-19. Forward. And he was bad.
Not great.
Okay. Marco Dano?
Marco Dano, there you go.
Yeah. He was bad.
I didn't even think he played 8 games for the Avs.
Yeah, I thought it was like 4.
I thought it was 1.
4, and then he was gone. Yeah.
Okay. There's 2 more. These guys are older. I don't think there's no shot in hell you get one of them. You might get the other one. He's yeah. I could just show you the answers. I don't think you're gonna get them. Yeah, okay, so the other 2 were Yaroslav Obshit and Marek Svatos.
Oh yeah, Svatos. See, Svatos is right in that era where I don't. The 2002 to 2008 and 2009 in there, where
the era that's like not the golden era, but we were also children for it. So
yeah, where I started to become a little bit literate in my Avalanche history is 2009, 2010.
Yeah, pretty much once like Duchesne and Stastny. Well, Stastny's too early too.
Just Duchesne. Once Duchesne got there, that's when I started following.
Yeah. All right. I think this is the last one.
Okay.
All right. Who did the Avalanche hold the highest and lowest postseason win percentage against across multiple series? So just like they got swept by the Ducks, like in the early 2000s. That doesn't count.
Okay, lowest. I
That's the
want to
only
say
time they played them.
lowest. I want to say okay. So the Ducks.
No, the Ducks don't count
Oh,
because they
across
only played them
multiple.
once.
Okay, so I want to say the Wild for lowest.
No.
Okay. Because they haven't beat the Wild ever in playoffs.
They beat them once. They actually beat them twice.
Oh, but that was back in the early days. And then Brunette happened. Then Nino happened. Okay. And then
Actually, they
it's
weren't in
not.
the
It
early
can't be
days.
the Oilers because they just swept them, and I know they lost to them a while ago. But is it the Oilers?
No, they're 11-5 against the Oilers in the
Okay.
playoffs all time.
Can't be the Blues. It can't. Could it be the Kings?
Let me see what is their record against the Kings? 8-6. So no.
Okay, so they're not great against the Kings, but not terrible.
There is only. I'll give you according to this criteria, there's only one team that the Avalanche, not the Nordiques, across multiple series are sub 500 against. One team.
Is it Dallas?
It's not Dallas.
Wow.
Yeah. Dallas is close. They're 18-4 against Dallas.
Is it Detroit?
Nope, they're 500 against Detroit.
What? Oh.
Yeah, they're 500 against Detroit and Minnesota.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Is it the Sharks?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The only other ones that the Avs themselves have played that are below 500 are the Ducks, like I said, Seattle, and Vegas.
Mm-hmm. And they've only played one against Seattle and Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
Highest, I want to say the Blues.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Blues is the highest. Across one series, it would be the Panthers because they swept them the one time they played them. So, yeah, so it goes. So the Panthers, they have a 100% against St. Louis, 81.2%. They've lost 3 games ever to the St. Louis Blues in the playoffs. Across 4 series, they've lost 3 games. They've lost less games than they've played series against the St. Louis Blues. That's
And that one loose win is the bubble year.
No, they beat them remember? The Kadri.
I meant like loose win because if 12-3.
Right. Sorry.
Because they beat them in
actually,
5 back in the day.
Or does it count that? Because no, that's 6. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah.
I mean, it would
5,
have to.
No, it does count it. I think you're right. 5, because you said 5 back in the day. And then that'd be 4 with the sweep. That's 9. And then 6 more. That's 15. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
The Canucks, they're 8-2 against the Flames, but that's only one series. They're 4-1 against. 8-2 against the Coyotes, 11-5 against the Oilers, 8-4 against the Blackhawks, 6-4 against the Predators, 4-3 against the Devils, 8-6 against the Kings, 18-14 against the Stars, 10-10 against the Wilds, 17-17 against the Red Wings, and then 15-17 against the Sharks. And then there's like a bunch of teams they've played. That's like the Nordiques. Teams they've never played before, interesting enough. They've never played the Winnipeg Jets, the Washington Capitals, the Maple Leafs, the Penguins, the Senators, or the Blue Jackets, obviously.
Interesting. I feel like the Jets thing is going to change this year.
Yeah, I feel like they'll play the Jets at some point if the Jets are still stay competitive. But so yeah, that's the end of the quiz.
It was a good quiz.
Thank you.
So next couple episodes we have planned are going to be the
predictions.
Division. I don't know whichever one you want to do first, but One of them will be season predictions. One of them will be Avalanche predictions. So stay tuned. We'll probably do Avs predictions and awards, and then we'll do divisional predictions in one because that's going to be
Yeah.
probably like an hour 20.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the other teams
Yeah,
and how much they suck,
especially the West.
especially Dallas.
Yeah, it's just the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, just Dallas Stars hate cast.
It's not even just hate; it's just indifference.
That's
It's just the Dallas Stars. Like, come on.
I hate them. But all right. Well, we'll catch y'all later.
How can you hate something that poses no threat?
Because their fans are the worst. So
It's the Dallas Stars.
that's all right. See you later, everybody.